Like, what do you
I
see
think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
Shakur Stevenson has issued a bold warning to Gervonta Davis, claiming he was exposed in the first fight and won't survive a rematch with Lamont Roach. He suggests Davis has been protected for too long, and this time, Roach will finish what he started. Tim Bradley echoed similar criticism, stating, "I've noticed a pattern with a lot of the PBC's fighters, man. Inactivity is one of them. When they really get in there with a live dog and get hit in the face, they all bow out. You're seeing there are levels to this game." His comments stirred up major conversation in the boxing world. Bradley wasn't just calling out Gervonta, he was questioning the toughness of the entire PBC roster. According to him, these fighters look sharp when it's easy, but fall apart under real pressure. And with Lamont Roach now coming in stronger, sharper, and hungrier, that pressure is exactly what Gervonta will face in the rematch. The spotlight is now on Davis to prove he's more than hype, because this time, no one's expecting Roach to hold back. Bradley didn't stop there. He went deeper into why he believes Gervonta Davis might not be built for a tough rematch. He pointed to the fight against Isaac Cruz, saying that was the moment he saw signs of weakness. According to him, it wasn't just about boxing skill, it was about how Gervonta reacted when faced with real pressure. "I remember seeing Tank fight against Cruz, and I saw a different side to him. Yeah, he boxed, but he didn't like that toughness, that heat that Cruz brought," Bradley said. He added that even though Davis had a hurt hand, it was more about the body language and the way he handled adversity. He stated, "And I know he had a hurt hand, but I could just tell the body language. I saw certain things get hot in there and he can't have his way. You can beat him. I think he will fold under pressure as soon as he gets hit back." These comments from a respected former champion didn't go unnoticed. Bradley was clear. He believes Davis struggles when he's not in control. He's not questioning Gervonta's power or skill, but his ability to stand strong when the fight turns into a war. And with Lamont Roach known for applying smart, consistent pressure, many are wondering if that weakness could be exposed again. This rematch is shaping up to be more than just a test of talent. It's a test of heart. Gervonta may have the spotlight, but it's Roach who could bring the fire. Now the boxing world waits to see if Tank can really take the heat, or if Bradley's prediction will come true. As if things weren't already heated, Lamont Roach Jr. added more fuel to the fire with a brutally honest take on Gervonta Davis. In a recent interview, Roach made it clear he's not buying into the hype around Gervonta's so-called power. Roach flat out said Gervonta isn't even the hardest puncher he's faced, and went a step further, claiming Tank can't even punch.
I think the hardest puncher I ever faced, no. And I ain't shitting on him or nothing like that. He can punch. But Jonathan Oquendo, he's from Puerto Rico. Bro, he got bricks in his hands, bro. I lie to you not. He punch hard. I ain't gonna lie. He a hard hit.
Coming from someone who shared the ring with him, that's not just trash talk, that's a direct shot at Davis's biggest weapon. Roach is clearly not intimidated and believes Tank's power is overrated. Statements like this show he's entering the rematch with zero fear and full confidence. He's not just fighting for redemption, he's aiming to expose Gervonta completely. And just when it seemed the criticism couldn't get any louder, Ryan Garcia, who stepped into the ring with Gervonta, spoke up too. In a recent appearance, Garcia didn't hold back while breaking down Tank's mindset during his fight with Rolando "Raleigh" Romero. He even issued a warning to Gervonta ahead of the rematch with Lamont Roach, pointing out signs of fear and hesitation that could cost him again.
But Rollies, he didn't have a moment of like, oh, I'm in control of this. He was really generally worried of getting knocked out because the guy had a heavy hand. So he stayed on the back foot a lot. But what he really wants to do, he wants to press forward on you, take a couple shots, and dig to the body, dig to the head, and just break you down with pure strength. But he obviously, he could do that with guys that are coming up because they don't hit hard.
Garcia claimed that during the Raleigh fight, Gervonta looked like a fighter trying to survive, not dominate. He said Tank stayed on the back foot the whole time because he was genuinely worried about getting knocked out. Coming from someone who's felt Tank's power firsthand, Garcia's warning hits differently. He's saying the same thing Roach and Bradley have suggested. When the pressure's real, Gervonta folds. If Tank can't control the fight and his power doesn't shake Roach, then the rematch could expose him completely. But while the critics keep talking, Gervonta Davis is making his own statement. In the gym, reports are now surfacing that Floyd Mayweather himself is stunned by the intensity Davis is showing ahead of the Lamont Roach rematch. The energy around Tank's training camp has completely shifted.
it's not bragging if you do what you say you're gonna do. So, and you know, like when people say, bumps and bruises come with the sport of boxing.
Sources close to the camp say Davis has looked absolutely locked in, firing off rapid combinations, cutting angles with precision, and showing a level of focus we haven't seen in a long time. Even his usual supporters are saying this version of Tank looks different, more serious, more dangerous. It's clear he's heard all the criticism, and now he's coming to shut every mouth that doubted him. The message from Gervonta is simple. He's not here to survive. He's coming to dominate. If this version of Tank shows up on fight night, Lamont Roach could be in for a war. The rematch just got personal, and Gervonta is looking to end it with a statement. But Lamont Roach isn't sitting back either. He's locked in and ready to answer with fire of his own. With the rematch getting closer, Roach has officially entered training camp, and the early footage is making noise. From what we're seeing, he's not preparing for a boxing match. He's preparing for war.
Lamont Roach in training camp, ready for one of the biggest rematches in 2025 against Gervonta Tank Davis, one of the biggest faces. What a man.
Roach has been pushing through intense sessions, sharpening his defense, and drilling combinations with relentless speed. He looks stronger, faster, and more determined than ever, like a fighter who knows his time has come. This isn't the same Roach from the first fight. This is a focused, hungry version coming to finish what he started. Every movement in camp shows purpose. He's not just training to compete, he's training to dominate. One of the most outspoken voices so far has been Paulie Malignaggi, who didn't hesitate to call out what he sees as a pattern in Gervonta Davis's matchmaking. In a recent interview, Paulie broke it down with brutal honesty, suggesting Tank only takes fights that look safe on paper.
I'll go out on a limb right now and say if Gervonta thought Lamont was going to be this tough, he wouldn't have fought him. You know, that's been the MO throughout his whole tenure. You know, he on paper they don't look like they're going to be tough fights, and then he still fights them. You know, it's just Lamont came very prepared, overachieved on paper. Really, in reality, you know, if we look at between the microscope, Lamont is a very experienced guy and has a lifetime in boxing and has a great disciplined team behind him, and they knew exactly how to approach this, and they approached it very, very well.
Malignaggi claimed that if Gervonta had known Roach would bring this level of skill and discipline, he never would have taken the fight. He accused Davis of building his resume on calculated risks, fighters that seem easy but turn out tougher than expected. According to Paulie, Roach was overlooked and underestimated, but came in with the experience and team to flip the script. He praised Roach for preparing the right way, executing perfectly, and proving he's no underdog. Malignaggi didn't stop at just analyzing the first fight. He had plenty to say about the rematch itself. From the venue to the timing, Paulie broke it all down and didn't hold back on his opinions about how it's being handled.
So when it comes to this rematch, there's a lot to unpack here. First of all, where is the rematch? Do we know where it's going to be? Is it?
It's Vegas.
I think it is Vegas, yes.
You're doing the rematch in Vegas. So just when I thought...
T-Mobile Arena.
Just when I thought they couldn't get any dumber, they pull a move like this and totally redeem themselves. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Go to Vegas, you pay less taxes, you do the fight again, forget the Jake Paul fight. You got to give Lamont Roach the rematch. Give big credit here because I have a lot of criticism for Gervonta Davis and Canelo Alvarez for the choice of opponents. But at least Gervonta Davis is doing the Mayweather. He's giving the immediate rematch.
Right.
You had a tough fight, you're doing the immediate rematch.
He pointed out that hosting the fight in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena was a smart move and even called it a rare win for the promoters. Paulie, known for his sharp takes, said it was about time Davis gave Roach the immediate rematch he earned. He gave credit to Tank for taking the Mayweather route and running it back right away, despite having a tough first fight. But at the same time, Paulie made it clear this rematch isn't charity, it's necessary. The fans demanded it, the first fight raised questions, and now there's no place to hide. With Vegas as the battleground, the lights are brighter, the stakes are higher, and there's no room for excuses. Chris Algieri also stepped into the conversation and brought a different kind of heat. While many accused Gervonta of cherry-picking Lamont Roach, Algieri quickly shut that down with some insider perspective.
I'm talking about this fight right here. Look at the first fight. So picking Lamont Roach, you're saying, oh, he's basically cherry picking is what you're alluding to. He has a history with the guy. They've been in the gym together. They sparred together. They fought in the amateurs. He knew the level that Lamont brought. Also, Lamont's one of those guys. You ask anybody in the boxing world, they know how good Lamont is, and it's like his record, leading up to him getting to the title shot. Or getting his title win. It's kind of like, the Jamel Herring fight's really hard to forget. He struggled with some guys that you wouldn't expect him to, but he's really come into his own because the guy who was in the gym that everybody saw coming up has been realized now. So I don't think Gervonta Davis was handpicking an easy guy in Lamont Roach. Stylistically,
he reminded everyone that Davis and Roach have a long history. They sparred, fought in the amateurs, and know each other's level well. According to Algieri, Tank knew exactly how dangerous Lamont was when he signed the fight. He pointed out that real boxing heads have always known Roach's skill, even if his record had a few rough spots. Algieri made it clear, Roach isn't some easy opponent who got lucky. He's a serious fighter who's finally stepped into his prime. The version of Lamont we're seeing now is the one insiders always knew was coming, and if Davis underestimated that, the rematch could end up being the biggest gamble of his career. Algieri didn't stop there. He went deeper into the strategy behind Gervonta's camp. He acknowledged that Davis's team is smart and calculated, but even the best game plan can go sideways when the opponent steps up.
Listen, Gervonta's team's not dumb. They look at what this guy can do and where he can give him troubles, and it certainly worked out that way. Did they overlook him a little bit in terms of being like, I beat him back then, he struggled here and there, I'm just too good, I'm at a different level? I think that Lamont really stepped up. So I'm going. Gervonta's that good, but guess what? So's Lamont.
Algieri explained that while Tank's team likely believed they had Lamont figured out based on past encounters and weaker performances, Roach shattered that assumption in the ring. He believes Gervonta might have underestimated Lamont's growth, thinking he was still level above him. But as Algieri pointed out, Lamont rose to the occasion and proved he belongs at the elite level. The fight wasn't just competitive, it exposed how dangerous Roach can be when fully prepared. Algieri made it clear, yes, Gervonta is great, but so is Lamont Roach. To make his stance crystal clear, Chris Algieri didn't hold back in his final assessment. He outright said what many are thinking, but few have dared to say. Lamont Roach already beat Gervonta.
Lamont beat him. And I think Lamont realized who he was in that fight. And since then, he's been on a tear. He's looked so good his last two fights since then. And I expect that once again, I think Lamont is the goods. And I think that he just needed to realize it and come into himself. And he has, and he did it at the right time.
Paulie Malignaggi also came back with one more brutally honest breakdown, this time focused on what makes Lamont Roach such a dangerous opponent. He didn't hype him up with flash or buzzwords. He broke him down with raw truth.
Like I said before, I think with Lamont, we always knew that it was all there.
Yeah.
Well, you looked at Lamont with a naked eye, though, and you say, okay, he doesn't have overabundant speed, doesn't have overabundant power. He's a solid fundamental fighter. He doesn't have any special, particular God-given talent that you can add to the technique there. But you know what he did have? He's an intelligent fighter with a solid game plan. He knew how to fight Gervonta because, like you said, they have a history.
Paulie admitted that at first glance, Roach doesn't stand out with insane speed or knockout power, but that's exactly what makes him so dangerous. He's a high IQ fighter with fundamentals that break flashy fighters down. He's not winning with flash, he's winning with brains, timing, and perfect execution. Malignaggi emphasized that Roach came into the fight with a sharp, focused plan, and it showed. He knew Gervonta's habits, his rhythm, and how to neutralize his biggest weapons. The fight wasn't won on natural gifts, it was won on preparation and fight IQ. And now, heading into the rematch, Paulie warns, Roach still has the same brain, but now with momentum and belief on his side. Jeff Mayweather didn't deny Gervonta's skills, but he did admit something that could change everything for Tank going forward.
I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more people, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
Jeff suggested that while Gervonta's reputation isn't completely destroyed, the fear factor around him is fading fast. Fighters who once stayed quiet or avoided his name are now seeing blood in the water. According to Jeff, the mystique is gone. Opponents are realizing Tank can be touched, pushed, and even beaten. That shift in perception is dangerous for any power puncher whose aura relies on intimidation. Once fear is gone, fighters take more risks, fight with confidence, and don't hesitate to test their heart. And if Roach has already broken that barrier, Gervonta isn't just fighting Roach anymore, he's fighting to protect his image. Jeff Mayweather added even more depth to the conversation, pointing out something most people are ignoring. In a recent interview, he brought up a detail that goes way back, but still matters today.
Everybody can have off night, but I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that they did fight each other when they were young, growing up, when they were kids. And sometimes stuff like that actually has a real meaning on who's scared of who or whatever, And I mean, I think that Roach went in there and proved that he wasn't scared of Tank at all.
Jeff reminded everyone that Gervonta and Lamont Roach fought each other as kids, and that kind of history doesn't just disappear. He explained how those early battles can leave lasting impressions on who fears whom, even years later. And in this case, Roach showed he's not scared of Tank, not even a little. Jeff made it clear, Roach didn't enter that ring to survive. He entered to compete, to win, and to prove that nothing about Gervonta intimidates him. That fearless mindset makes a huge difference, especially in high-pressure fights. If Roach has already beaten the fear, he's halfway to beating the man, and that's exactly what makes this rematch so dangerous for Davis. Greg Hackett, known for calling it exactly how he sees it, added more fire to the Roach versus Davis debate. In a recent interview, Hackett dropped a bold take, one that caught a lot of people off guard.
Lamont, you know what, I'm lying, 55-45 Lamont. Why? Lamont got the edge, because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130, and not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge, just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they're very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Hackett said it straight, Lamont Roach holds the edge in this rematch. Why? Because he already did the one thing nobody expected. He stood toe-to-toe with Tank and didn't flinch. He wasn't supposed to survive, let alone make it a close fight. Some even believe Roach won that night. Hackett praised Roach for not being scared of Tank's power, calling him one of the few who came in fearless and backed it up. He said Lamont proved a point, and now he's coming back with even more confidence. And that, Hackett claims, gives Roach the upper hand heading into this rematch. Greg Hackett wasn't done after giving Roach the edge. He had more to say about what this rematch really means for Gervonta Davis. In another segment, he laid out exactly what Tank must bring to the ring this time.
This would be the night we have to. We have to see the most focus on Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he's gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Hackett made it clear, this can't just be an A-game night for Davis. It has to be the best version of himself, period. Every movement, every decision, every second has to count. He warned that if Tank shows even a hint of complacency, he's going to be in serious trouble. Hackett emphasized the mental side of the fight, saying this isn't just about power or skill, but focus, discipline, and intent. According to him, Tank needs to be locked in from the first bell to the last, with no room for ego or distractions. Roach is too sharp, too prepared, and too fearless to give second chances. This, Hackett said, is the night when Gervonta has to mean every step he takes. But while critics and analysts raise their concerns, Gervonta's camp is standing tall. Coach Kenny Ellis has finally spoken, and he's setting the tone for what they plan to deliver in the rematch.
Like I said, they both at top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
yeah, it'll be different.
Ellis didn't sugarcoat anything. He acknowledged Roach's performance in the first fight, but promised fans they hadn't seen the real Tank yet. He said the rematch will be different, more focused, more violent, more dominant. Davis has been deep in camp, locking in on strategy and sharpening every tool. This time, they're leaving no room for underestimation. The coach also made it clear, this isn't just about winning, it's about shutting down every narrative that's been built against them. For Ellis and Team Davis, this fight is personal now. The goal isn't just to beat Roach, it's to make a statement that silences every doubt. The highly anticipated Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch, scheduled for August 16th, is shaping up to be one of the most compelling and high-stakes bouts in recent boxing history. Both fighters are stepping into the ring with something to prove. Davis seeking to re-establish his dominance, and Roach determined to show that his strong performance in the first fight was no accident. With intense training camps, strong opinions from boxing veterans, and mounting pressure from fans. This rematch is about more than just winning. It's about legacy, reputation, and proving who truly belongs at the top. What do you think? Will Roach pull off the upset and silence the doubters once and for all? Can Gervonta bounce back with a dominant performance and shut everyone up? Is this fight going to live up to the hype? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in for more videos like this.